Okay then gang, so now I'd like to talk about classes in TypeScript. Now classes in TypeScript are very similar to classes in JavaScript, so I'm not going to go from the very beginning and explain exactly what a class is and how it works. I would expect you to already know the basics. If you don't, then I've got a whole series all about object-oriented JavaScript on this very channel, so I'll leave the link to that down below. So anyway, a class is basically a blueprint for an object, right? So if we wanted to create some kind of invoice object or several invoice objects for our app, we could create a class called invoice to structure those objects. So to do that, we'd use the class keyword, then give our class a name, which I'm going to call invoice. And then inside the class, we could define the different properties that invoice objects would have. So for example, I might have a client property to say who the invoice is going to. And I'd also define the type of this property. So in my example, that's going to be a string. I'm also going to do a details property, and that is going to be a string as well. And then finally, an amount property, which will be a number. Okay, now right now we have errors on each of these three things, and that's because we're not initializing values for them. So to initialize values for these, we could either set them equal to something right here, but I'm not going to do that because every invoice object would have maybe a different client value. Instead, I'm going to initialize those values inside a constructor so that whenever we create a new invoice object, we can pass in three different values for these three properties. So let's do that. I'm going to say constructor right here, and inside we need to pass three values. The first one, C, for client and no other reason, is going to be a string. The second one, D, for details, is also going to be a string. And the third one, A, for amount, is going to be a number. Okay, so inside this constructor, we can take these parameters that we take in, C, D, and A, and assign those values to these properties. So let's say this to refer to the instance of the object that we're creating based on this class, and then give it the client value of C that we take in. Then I'll say this dot details is equal to D, and then finally I'll say this dot amount is equal to A. So now whenever we create a new invoice object based on this class, the constructor is going to run, it's going to take in the three values we pass into it, and it's going to assign those values to these three properties, client details and amount. Now also I want to create a method on this class. So I could do that by just saying the method name, format for example, and this format method is only going to return a string where we format these different details. So I'm going to return a template string, so backtick, so we can dynamically output variables inside the string, and I'll say $, curly braces to output one of those variables, and it's going to reference this.client, so whatever the value of client is. Then I'll say O's, and then I'll do a pound sign because it's going to be in pounds, then $ and curly braces to output another variable, and this is going to be the amount, so I'll say this.amount, and then after that I'll say for, and then $, and then we'll output the details, so we'll say this dot details. Okay, so that's all that's doing. It's just returning a simple string which is formatting these different properties in a string. Okay, so now we have our class. What if we want to instantiate that class and create an object based on it? Well, all we do is say something like const inv1 stands for invoice 1, and set it equal to a new invoice, much like we would in JavaScript. So we need to pass in three arguments, one for each of these, C, D, and A. So the first one is the client, so I would pass in a string for that. For example, Mario could be the client. The second one is going to be the details, so I'll say work on the Mario website. And the third one is going to be the amount in pounds, so I'll say 250. Okay, so now we're creating a new instance of this invoice object based on this class, and it's going to return that new object in inv1. So I'll do one more. I'm going to just duplicate that and change this to inv2, and I'm going to change Mario to Luigi, and then I'll change Mario to Luigi over here as well. And this time I'm going to charge him 300 because I don't like him as much as Mario. Okay, so now we have these two invoices. Let me just log one of these to the console. So I'm going to say console.log. In fact, we'll log both of them, inv1 and inv2. Okay, so save that and come over here. And if I refresh, it's not working, and that's because I have not compiled this. So let me open up my terminal, and then I'm going to say tsc and -watch, and that's going to compile for me. So now if I go over here, we should see those in the console. So there's the first invoice object, and there is the second one. Okay, now the cool thing about using these classes for objects is that if we wanted to, in the future, we could create maybe an array and only allow invoice objects in the array, much like we did string arrays or Boolean arrays, where only that type is allowed in the array. We can do that with classes or class objects as well. So let me just get rid of this and say, let invoices equal to an empty array. Now then, I could give this a type, couldn't I, by saying something like string and then square brackets, and now only strings would be allowed to be pushed or added to this array. Now what if I want to make it so that only invoices can be added to that array? Well, I could remove string and change this to invoice. Now only objects that are created using this invoice class can be added to this array. So if I try to say, for example, invoices.push and then a string, for example, hello, this is not going to be allowed. We get an error. If I try to add some kind of object with, I don't know, a name property, for example, then this is not going to be allowed because these are not invoices. But I could add inv1 like so, and I could also, if I say invoices.push and then add inv2 as well, that is allowed. And I can just console.log the invoices so we can have a look at them in the console over here, and we can see now we have an array with 2 invoice objects inside it. Pretty cool, right? So now we can kind of use our classes with arrays as well to limit what kind of objects can be added to arrays. So in the future, I could make a whole array of different invoices, and I could be certain that all of the objects in that array are of invoice type when I'm cycling through them, so I can maybe output them to the DOM in the same way. Now, by default, when we create objects using this class, all of the different properties right here are public on the class, meaning that whenever we create a new instance of that class, we can access all of the properties and we can change them as well. So for example, I could say inv1.client is now equal to Yoshi, and that would be absolutely fine. I could also say inv2.amount is now equal to 400. By the way, I couldn't change the type of them. I couldn't change this into a string because we've already said that amount must be a number. So we can't change that, but we can access and change all of the different properties. So now if I come down here and say console.log inv1 and inv2, we're going to see those different values inside those objects. So if we take a look, we now see 400 over here and we see Yoshi over here. Now we don't always want that to happen. We don't always want to allow ourselves or other developers to change these properties later on in the code. So in TypeScript, much like JavaScript, we can use access modifiers to limit that, and we're going to see those in the next video.